Hello everyone, welcome to Durrett's Take. There's a lot I want to go over today, and a lot of it has to do with the recent college football news that's been happening recently, so let's dive right into it. Um, so it's, like I said, it's been an interesting few days. The NFL seems to press forward, and high school football, not even adults, they're going to play some football this year. But yet, college football can't play for some reason. What? Like, it doesn't make any sense. It's just crazy. But anyways, so we've had some time digesting news recently with the Big 12 and the Pac-12 are postponing all their fall sports, and hopefully we'll play football in the spring, along with the Mountain West and MAC, who have said this a couple of days ago. So I have some beef with this decision. By the way, on a quick note, it's time for college football to have a CEO or president, a person in charge, basically a leader. Because, like, for example, the NBA has a defined leader. Adam Silver is leader now, and not only is he a leader, but he's a good leader. So if we can get something like that for college football, I think it would help the sport immensely. I'm down to do it, but assuming I don't make the cut, basically, then I'll support whoever does it or whoever wants to do it. I think will be good for it. But I just think it's time for them to get one. Okay, so going back to the Big Ten and Pac-12. So like I said, I have beef with that decision. Now, if you're a fan, you may be thinking, well, wait a minute. Just a few months ago, you were advocating spring football. This news should make you happy. Why the change of heart? Well, if you're thinking those thoughts right now, then you do not understand me correctly. I said I would like spring football, but that's if we can't play in the fall. Because for me, what I didn't want to happen is I didn't want to just do conference only. And I still don't want to do conference only right now. I mean, for example, let's say like Baylor playing at West Virginia, like even though they're the same conference, like location-wise, that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Or Boston College and Florida State and the ACC type of thing, like it's too far travel-wise, it doesn't make any sense. But as far as testing protocol stuff, I understand why they made this decision. But I was kind of not wanting that, so that's why I was saying, well, I'd rather have spring because we can have a normal season. But now that I realized that, like, even if you were playing spring, we'll have a full 12-game normal type of season. It would basically be conference only spring-wise, so I pretty much get it, which means I'm all in for fall. But at this point, I'm not confident that spring football would even happen, which is another reason why I would prefer trying things out in the fall, because who's to say that things are going to get better in the spring? Now, back a couple months ago, I thought, okay, things should get better in spring, but the way things are going now, it's not looking good. So the reason why this news hurts is because even though they say they'll get spring football try, I feel like this is basically the cancellation of the Big Ten, the Pac-12, and the other conferences decided to postpone. And this is obviously the last thing I want as a college football fan. As I mentioned earlier, here's why I have beef with the decision. So we have heard the rumors that liability was a key factor in making their decision. Now a lot of the university presidents, a lot of them are going to deny that, and I understand why they want to deny that. But the funny thing is, they're liable either way, just in a different way. So, for example, the fact that they're not playing, and if they can't squeeze in a football season, then they're liable on the fact that you're just like you're basically altering an athlete's life and career, basically. So, for example, it's like Joe Burrow is going to be a late draft pick, and then after last season, he becomes the #1 pick. So now, if the Big Ten or Pac-12 can't play in spring and they don't play after all, then you're costing that player of going from a late undrafted or late round draft to being a first rounder type of thing, and so that will obviously change the trajectory and potentially career and just future in general of that person, and most likely not in the good ways. So then in the way they're going to be liable for that, even though that has nothing to do with lawsuits or something. Like they would have been liable if something were to happen. They allowed athletes play and stuff like that. But apparently, I heard the main reason why is strictly for the health and safety of the players, and that statement alone is totally understandable. That sounds all good. It's like I want the players to be healthy too, like, and they have medical experts that they trust, and they're medical experts for a reason. So it's hard to discredit whatever they say. So I can understand why they go with them. But here's the other thing, though. I feel like another thing that's important is stats. And that is where I feel like I don't trust that the Pac-12 and the Big Ten fully paid attention to that. So here's a stat. In the NBA bubble, no positive tests. Hockey bubble, no positive tests. Now, you've had a few cases in Major League Baseball, and that's because players on teams like St. Louis or Miami, especially, like, they were making questionable. So it's like they weren't basically doing a good job of following the protocols, basically. But you see teams like the Dodgers who have real, like, championship aspirations, no positives there because they're taking this seriously. And when you look at the whole grand scheme of things, less than 1% of MLB players since the start have tested positive. So even though there's been some postponements and an outbreak on one team, it's just like that's pretty good considering they're not doing a bubble format. And because college is not going to be doing too much bubble format either, so that's the thing to kind of compare there. And in the NFL so far, just based on training camps and stuff like that, 1% tested positive. That's pretty good. So I understand safety as far as like the heart can be large and from COVID and stuff, and the long-term effects we don't know about. So I understand that regard, but it's just like if they look at the stats of the other sports, they can see, well, we can keep it as safe as possible. It looks like this could technically work if we follow protocols and stuff. So this is sad for the coaches and players in those conferences, along with the MAC and Mountain West, and then the FCS teams, which I'll speak about them later, by the way, on the show. But for me, I'm a guy who's big on free agency. My beliefs is on earth, God has given us the agency to choose right and wrong. Makes sense. Now, it is a big decision for a player to decide whether to play or not. And of course, most likely the player's going to want to play. And it's going to be kind of a biased reason to play. So that's why I would say if the player and their parents both are unified inside, yeah, I want my son to play, and yeah, I want to play, then I feel like it should be their choice instead of the university presidents. Now, the university presidents, they can make recommendations. They say, okay, athletes, you should not play at all, or you should not do this, you should not do that. So, but you should let them decide. So you're not taking away their free agency with celebration on earth. Now, I know, like, not everyone can use free agency in every single situation. For example, a 4-year-old can't have free agency all the time. Otherwise, there's going to be problems there. So I understand that regard. So that's why I said the athlete and the parents specifically, because obviously there's going to be some athletes' parents they're on different pages. But if they could kind of unify in front, I feel like that's good enough. So it's too bad that got taken away. I wish they would have waited longer before I decided to postpone or cancel it, but unfortunately we don't get everything in life. So even though it's been a sad 48 hours, the good news is that the SEC and the ACC are still pushing forward with the fall season. So it's basically 2 versus 2, and you have the Big 12, who's usually late to the party. It has to decide what they're going to do. Well, luckily, they decided to push forward the season as well, so now I got 3 against 2. And because of these decisions by the Power 5 Conference, the American Conference is going to push forward, Conference USA is going to push forward, Sun Belt's going to push forward, and then independents like BYU, Liberty, and Army, and maybe New Mexico State. New Mexico State will have a hard time, but maybe New Mexico State will press forward as well. By the way, BYU and New Mexico State are the only 2 teams in the Western United States that are going to try to play football this fall. How crazy is that? I never would have thought in my wildest dreams that would be the case, but here we are. Anyways, so that's 6 of the 10 conferences, so over half going on. Now, here's the big question. Is there going to be a playoff? So far, the College Football Playoff Committee has not said anything. And hopefully they say something soon, because I like to know an answer, and everyone likes to know an answer. But my guess is they're going to kind of do the same system that was a requirement for the FCS teams, where for the FCS, you had over 50% teams playing in order to have an FCS playoffs. But that's not going to be the case anymore, so that's why they're going to postpone to spring type of thing. Well, since we have over 50% teams, I feel like we can play. And I feel like 4 teams will work out. Then there's been rumors to try, just since it's already crazy season, is just try to do I'm not particularly big fan of that this season, because even though it's going to be less non-conference games, which means that you have room to do a team playoff, I just feel like there's not going to be good enough A quality versus if you were to have Big 10 and Pac-12, then there could be more good quality teams to make. But anyways, so for the 14 it's like you have the SEC winner automatically get in, the ACC winner automatically get in, the Big 12 winner automatically get in. So put Alabama, Clemson, Oklahoma basically, and then you can try to, you can have just another wild card team. So either a good team like Georgia, because I feel like Georgia would be a team that would probably make it. Or this could be finally a chance to give a group of 5 team a chance, assuming they're a good group of 5 team, like Cincinnati or something, like a chance to finally make it in the playoffs because it's a wild season and see what they got to do. And because I'm tired of G5's getting the disrespect, so that would be the perfect opportunity there to do that. And it would be a fun debate for the season. Now, let me say this. There will not be any college football playoff for the spring teams. I'm going to say that right now. You heard it right now. No college football teams for the spring. Why? Because there's not enough substance. There's not enough teams. There's not over 50%. Now, here's what they could do for like a championship type of game. The Rose Bowl. Pac-12 versus Big Ten. Just have that be the de facto championship game for the spring league. So you'd probably get Ohio State versus Oregon matchup, which got canceled for the season. We love to see that game. Now, I'm not saying you're going to have 2 college football champions in the same season, because the spring season is not a part of this fall season. It's going to be its own season, basically. So basically, you're getting an extra season in college football. Basically, that's what it is. So that's why I think should happen. Will it? I'm not sure. And as far as bowl games go, I have no idea what to expect there. It's even hard to make guesses there. My guess is that, if I had to pick a guess, I would guess that the New Year's Six bowl games will try to be played, and then maybe a few other high-profile bowl games to get some good quality teams. But other than that, whether it's P5 or G5 level, but other than that, that's pretty much it. And I'll be sharing my football predictions at some point, so I'm just kind of waiting for other teams to kind of finalize their schedule type of thing with their non-conference slates and stuff like that. So again, we might not be able to finish the season at all. If college football tries and fails, I understand it happens and it happens. There's too much that could be out of our control. But, at least as of right now, I appreciate the effort to at least try to have a season. That's what I wish the other leagues would have done. When I found out the other conferences will try to pursue this fall, I couldn't even describe how ecstatic I was. It's like a child getting the Christmas present from Santa that she always wanted. That's what it felt like to me. So hopefully it goes well. We're already less than a month away from college football, so I'm super happy. So by the way, I want to adjust the stances from a few teams like Nebraska, who is saying they'll try to play games this fall no matter what. By the way, Nebraska, what have you done lately to be making threats in the first place? Nothing. But anyways, I understand how I understand where the coach and the players are coming from. Well, let's be honest. This won't happen, especially Nebraska, since they have been in the league they haven't been in the league too long, because they came in 2011. Which hasn't even been a full decade yet. You really think they're going to give up $52 million from the conference to play a few games potentially this fall? They would basically be independent for this reason, with all the other conferences set. Even though as independent, it's nice to be. That's not okay. The good thing about independence is that it's nice not to be told what to do, but the problem is you're struggling to fill up your schedule. Like BYU, for example, only has 2 games right now, so that's the struggle. And then if you do go that route, you try to play a few games this fall, you might permanently be independent, because I think if you try to do that, the Big Ten's not going to want you back, and there's going to be whole money and legal confusion there, so it's just going to be tough. So the only team I feel like can pull off a few games in the fall, even though their conference is banned fall sports, is Air Force, because they're maybe get an exception to play the other service academies and Navy and Army, but that would be the only exception. So now, if spring rolls around and the conference decide, okay, we're still not going to play football, so we'll just scrap it all together, wait till 2020, then I can see where some teams are like, okay, well, we need to get some money, we need to play just at least a few games, okay, let's try to do something. I can understand that regard, but even then, that might be just wishful thinking. Now, it would be interesting to see what goes down and if it goes down. If I'm proven wrong, fine. It'll be fascinating headlines and news stories. So that's it for my podcast today. I'm gonna definitely have more stuff to go over by the end of the week once the NBA regular season wraps up, so I can give away my NBA predictions and go over my some more football comments. Especially, I hope we have some more, even then I got some topic prepared regarding FCS football. So thank you very much for listening today. Please subscribe to my channel, let everyone know about me. Thank you very much, and y'all have a wonderful day.